Welcome back to another episode of the Super Sanctum podcast. I'm your host, Malachi, with my co-host, Spidey Spitz.
Let's get episode 41,
And he
right?
got it correct this time.
Excellent. 41. Boys, we have Alex Moon, correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
At least that's what the doctors call me.
Rob?
Just Rob. That's all I am. I'm just Rob.
Awesome. And introduce yourselves. Where can we find you guys?
Yeah, Alex, you want to go first?
Yeah, you can find me on social media, usually at AlexmoonTV, or on YouTube and Twitch at the AlexmoonTV. I like making content about superheroes and bitching about things.
Oh, yes.
Am I allowed to say bad words?
Go for it. We don't care.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God. Okay.
We're
literally talking
as
about
you
that.
want to go.
Okay, cool.
You know,
No, that's good, bro. Cool.
Not the last episode. The episode before, we had tie-dye takes on. You know, a couple 9/11 jokes might have happened. might have talked about docking a little bit. You know.
Oh my God, that's like the trend now, bro. Jesus.
Docking's the trend? Oh my God. I don't know if I want to be part of that trend. I'm not going to lie.
No, like the comic book podcast talk, bro. Because the State Pod started talking about it. Not everyone's talking about docking on their podcast, bro.
God.
I'm Rob. I'm the other part of the Geekday podcast. You can find me at ImRobbyTee on basically everything. It's TEE. I don't really make too much content besides the podcast. I did, but I work on two podcasts right now, both the Geekday podcast, and then Alex and I are also part of a secondary podcast called Common Creatures, the tabletop RPG podcast. We play some tabletop RPG games like Pathfinder and Dungeons & Dragons, and get to shoot the shit and have some fun. So,
Nice. Okay.
Robert
Very
is
cool.
also being very humble. He's extremely good at all that. Extremely knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great DM, GM.
I'm in the middle of a D&D game myself right now.
Hell yeah. Are you GM or are you a player?
I'm the
Yeah, gonna be sweaty backs. Yeah.
That's my goat right there. Oh my God.
first time DM. Well, first time playing overall, but first time DM.
Hell yeah,
it's
brother.
a fun thing to do. It's a little stressful, but being able to hang out with friends and just, shoot the shit and play like make believe like you're a kid again is fantastic. I love it. Wouldn't want to do anything else.
Yeah, we're doing a Stranger Things one shot.
Oh,
Ooh.
hell yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun so far.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for having us on, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Glad to have you.
I was kind of under the impression it was just going to be me. I don't know why y'all asked Rob. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you guys. I like your videos, man. You bring the energy. We wanted to start this off, bro, and just kind of acknowledge it because we want to keep it light and fun. But we did want to acknowledge the fact that you guys do a lot of awareness for what's going on right now, and as far as the comic book community, we just we want to say thank you, and we just want to acknowledge that, and just kind of again keep it light and fun. But thank you guys for that because again, it should be more of that. And if you guys are in the comic book community, at the end of the day, everyone should know what right from wrong in this community. So we appreciate your work on that. Thank you, brother. Yeah, we just want to acknowledge that. And going from that, Captain America boys. We got a bunch of Captain America. But Rob, are you a Captain America boy?
So I'm starting to jump a little bit into it. Alex actually,
Yes.
we're doing a thing where we're handing each other comics. He gave me 3 comics of Sam Wilson's Captain America, as well as I'm currently reading the Chip Zdarsky run, loving it. So I dabble in Captain America. I'm definitely nowhere near probably as knowledgeable as the rest of y'all, but I think he's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah,
He's learning.
Yeah. I noticed that on your page, and then me and Malachi.
We're
really
a bit newer
enjoy
into the reading comics. Actually, we're a bit newer. I read a lot more than Spidey does.
Yeah, I'm more of the movies and the action figures, and I'm getting into more of the comics. I know all the original comic books, but as honestly after DC New 52, I don't, or some Rebirth. I know after the Rebirth, honestly, I don't know much. I know about Absolute, and that's about it. And then as far as Marvel, same thing. Everything before 2012, or after 2012, I really not. You know what I mean? I just kind of catch up on what I see, but mostly movies. But yeah, I've noticed that you are a big Captain America fan. If you want to get into that, maybe, and just where your love start and what you're vibing with it.
Yeah, no, well, first off, thank you very much. One of the things I try to put across is how mentally ill I am when it comes to Captain America. But no, I've been into Captain America. I mean, Robert's known me since high school. I've always been a huge Captain America fan. And 2014 when they did the transition of Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, I remember being really excited about that. And as I read more of his stories that came out, the Nick Spencer run and stuff, I love all Captain Americas. I've loved Captain America since I was little. I remember the first time I really got into Captain America was, and actually I have them on the shelf. I don't know if you can see them kind of back there, but they did like these 12-inch scale Marvel Legends, like icon Captain America figures.
Yes,
And
I know what you're talking about.
my aunt got me one for Christmas, and I was like, who the fuck is this? And she was like, that's Captain America. And I had no idea who it was. And on the back of the box, he's throwing the shield, and I'm like, oh, he throws a frisbee and he's a superhero.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit. So from like the base caveman level when I was younger, I was like, that's cool as fuck. And as I got older and started reading Captain America, there was just something about him, like he's very regal. Like every other hero looks up to him, and they're like, that's Captain America. And I remember reading growing up and being like, why the fuck does everybody like this guy? What's going on? And then as I read more Captain America, read the Invader stuff and all that, and then just you see this amazing history Captain America has, and how not only is he a superhero, but he's kind of like the superhero that inspires all the other superheroes within the Marvel Universe. But I've always really liked that. And the main thing I love about Captain America is, like I said, we try to keep it light and everything, but Captain America in comics and in movies has never been afraid to make statements that kind of mirror the real world a bit, and it's probably the superhero that the most, at least to me, like even in like Winter Soldier, talking about giving up your freedom for security and that kind of thing and what you're willing to give up. Like that's very pertinent, very here in the real world. And then in the comics, how he reacts to public affairs and all that. I just love that it's a superhero that does all the fancy stuff, that has the brightly colored costumes, but he's so centered in reality a bit. And I think that's why superheroes around him kind of rally to him and look to him when things are going on. I could go on forever, but I've been a big Captain America fan since before the movies. The movies, I think, like a lot of people, really propelled my fandom into the stratosphere, and then pushed me to go back and read even more of his comics and stuff. But yeah, and now I spend too much money on Captain America stuff.
Yeah.
So now I'm bankrupt.
Yeah, do I see 3 shields behind you?
Well, right now you see these 2. There's the shield that is on the Captain America standee, and then the third one's right there.
Oh yes, I didn't see that one.
These are the ones that are in my home right now. I have 2 more in storage, and I have another one at my work office. And
send me one though.
I'm not. No. I'm not. I'm not done buying shields. But yeah, I'm a little bit fiscally irresponsible, the kids would say.
No, I get that, bro. I get that.
I mean, hey, the kids can't do none of this. You gotta have big boy money to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be late on my rent, and I can have all the Captain America shields I want, bro.
But I'm happy.
That's called adulting at its finest.
Exactly. Malachi, what's your introduction to Cap? I don't think you ever told me.
Mine, I'd read some comics from my uncle when I was a kid, and that was about it. And then when the movie started coming out, that's when I started really rolling with Cap.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if you boys seen the Ultimate Avengers 1 and 2, the animated movies.
Yes, they're so good, bro.
When I was a kid, those came out. Yes, those are so good. Those came out, and that was one of my dad's favorite Marvel heroes, because he was in the army, so he just always talked about him. And then when those came out, he showed me, and that was like kind of an introduction. It was like my dad and those 2 movies. And those 2 movies are so good, bro. I really like those 2 adaptations. They're really good.
I recently rewatched, like literally a month ago, I rewatched Ultimate Avengers 1, because the whole thing is just on YouTube for anyone who wants to go watch it illegally. And then the second one, I couldn't find it. I think I have to like buy it on Amazon or something. But those films, I think they hold up. And there's a lot in those films, surprisingly, that you can kind of look to and be like, oh, this is very like MCU coded. This is very much most likely one of the things that Joss Whedon watched and went, oh yeah, this is what we're doing in our movie. Like,
yeah,
it just, a lot of that DNA is in there. But Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say one of the things I always liked was that, like people. This was a hot take, I thought, and I thought they were gonna go this way when Winter Soldier was because of that movie was Cap and Black Widow. I always thought they were gonna do that. You know what I mean? But they never really did. But I always I thought that would have been something. You know what I mean? But that relationship.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know, Rob, I want to get your take on this too, because there's something I want to bring up on one of our last podcasts, and I just never found a natural way to bring it up. But I think that Scarlett Johansson, especially in the MCU, Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans' chemistry is unmatched. I think if we actually would have gotten that relationship, that would have been just like it's perfect. Them in the Winter Soldier, them in Civil War, all that. Just
Endgame too.
Oh yeah, just they exude all of that dude, just fuck. Like that's what I'm getting the whole time.
Yeah, well, even there. Oh no, go ahead, man. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna actually bring it to you, Rob. Do you? I know you do like books a lot, and you read. Do you read comics or?
Yeah. So, I mean, I started reading comics when I was younger. We were a bit poor growing up, so it was kind of like going to the library, seeing what I can get. Yeah. So, we all grew up in the financial crisis. We all grew up
in 2008.
So I mean, like, things weren't always around, and I honestly don't think I got into like comics and comic book movies really until I started working at the movie theaters when I turned 16. And my first week in the movie theaters, dating myself probably, was when Captain America, The Winter Soldier came out. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I get free movie tickets. Let's check it out, see whatever. I watched it and I was like, damn, like this is crazy. I knew like superhero. Of course, you watch the Spider-Mans, the X-Men's, and stuff like that. And then watching that, and I was like, oh, like this could be different. It's an espionage movie or whatever that has a bit more like actual oomph to it. That's not just like, oh, pow, bang, or whatever, which is like my thing before was always like, oh, Adam West Batman, where it's like, a tight.
That's what you thought of?
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. And then once I saw that, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So I started digging in. I started reading Ultimate Spider-Man, the original one. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And, gradually started to fall, more and more in love with comics. Like you said, I have a bunch of like books, novels back here. I'm predominantly a novel reader, but really, I mean, as soon as like Alex and I started really like talking again and stuff, I was like, oh man, I really need to get back into comics, because I was only going for like my independence. Like I read Radiant Black and stuff like that. A lot of Image comics and stuff.
Okay.
Where I'm like, okay, I would go for that, and then eventually I was like, I guess I gotta work my way back to Marvel and DC, which I mean I did at the perfect time because the new Ultimate Universe, and then the Absolute Universe came out. So man, I'm thriving now. So.
Yeah. Everyone's eating right now, bro. Everybody.
Yeah. But going back to what Alex said about the Cap and Black Widow thing, yeah, dude, I agree. I think it's one of those things where like even that relationship necessarily itself isn't like, it's also, yes, it is that sexual tension, but it is that like we're also kind of homies too, like I don't know. It is that like, hey, I care about you, you care about me. It's very much like a star-crossed lovers sort of thing where it's like, hey, like if we were to be able to get together, yes, it'd be probably really good, but at the end of the day, it's probably best if you do you and I do me, and we kind of live our own lives, which is really nice to say, like how it ends, how Nat's story ends in Infinity War. Getting to have that moment with Hawkeye over Captain America, I think was a bit more.
Endgame.
Oh, Endgame. Was that Endgame? Or was it...
No, it was Endgame that she gets gathered.
Yes, because it was Gamora and the one that died.
Yes, it was Gamora in Infinity War.
Yes, yeah. They all merged to me, those two.
You're like, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
I mean, they were literally filmed at the same time, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love those movies. I think Alex and I talk about them as much. When we did our first original iteration of the Geekday podcast like 6 years ago, we went through and ranked every single Marvel movie independently, and it was crazy to see how completely different our lists were. Like, what are y'all guys' favorite? Like, what is your top 5 MCU movies?
Ooh, we had that question for you too.
Yeah, we did have that for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Hold on.
I have my list.
Notebook. I've got it in my notebook.
Actually, yeah. I have it in my. I have one right now, but it's. I just told him before this. I was like, Bro, I rewatch the MCU like 2 to 3 times a year, bro. It always changes, but they're all so good, bro. It changes so much. My number one is usually my number one still, but
Everyone's like making sure they got their list together.
while we're getting our list together, boys, question: if you guys want to tell us just how you guys started, how you guys met, you know, how this all began.
Oh my God.
So I'll take it, Robert.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure you're gonna tell the right story. Yeah.
Imagine Robert butt naked in the rain.
There you go. You got it.
Just
majestic.
But yeah, thank you.
Looking immaculate in the sun.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that he's that hairy on the backside, but he is, boys. Now, me and Robert actually, the regular story is equally as nerdy and sad. But no, me and Robert actually met originally in middle school because we were in theater together because we didn't know how to talk to women. And
hey, it's the easiest way to get there.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it just stinks because you're in theater. You know, you're finally around women, and you gotta you gotta compete with all the gay gentlemen. But no, we were in theater together, and we met there in middle school. And Robert and I don't know, Robert, were we like friends in middle school, or would you say like?
Because we were friendly, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a musical together. Our 8th grade year, where our characters were best friends. Or like old best friends or whatever. So like we were forced to spend a lot of time together. And then, you know, eventually when we went over to high school, we were in the same theater classes and stuff, and we would start to have the conversations about, you know, movie, like not necessarily comic books, but just movies overall, because we're both cinephiles. We love movies and stuff like that. So we would just be talking about, I was like, hey, have you seen this? Yes. And then like you would see kind of like everyone kind of walk away from the two of us while we're like just having our really, I guess, niche conversation. And yeah. But Alex, I mean, we just did more and more shows together, really, right?
Yeah, I would say in high school is really, like you said, like that's kind of when we're always more talking about movies, hanging out more and stuff, doing more shows together. Robert and I would say, in hindsight, sometimes I'm like, I don't know why Robert hung out with me, because I was a jackass in high school. I was very, like, to this day, I run into people from high school, and I'm always like, they're like, oh, hey, I was just talking about you, and I'm like, nothing good, I'm sure. I don't know. So like Robert is one of those people that was always advocating for me. He was like, that's how Alex is. That's just, you know, that's him. And I think because of that, I think Robert understood from a young age. Robert knew who he was, and therefore knew who I was. But he understood that my love language was I'm going to shit on you. And that's just how I am. Like I remember, this is the most PG story I can tell you. Like I was just like, there was a girl I remember who came into school one day, and she was like, guys, the new Kanye album just dropped, and I'm the Kanye girl. People can't know that I didn't like the album. And then I was like, okay, sounds good. And then immediately we walked into the theater room, and everybody was like, what's up, guys? And I was like, Brianna hated the new Kanye album.
That's so funny.
There were definitely worse jokes about
reason.
that same girl. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the PG one. I can.
Yeah.
I can tell you another one off air, but.
What about yourself? How did y'all guys meet?
So I started the pod about a month ago last year, and I was doing it with my friend that I met in middle school in Hawaii, and then
you went to middle school in Hawaii?
Oh, I lived in Hawaii from when I was in 6th grade to 21.
Dude, that is wild. That is so cool.
But yeah, I did it with my friend Jeremiah. He was my original co-host, and then Spidey was the first guest that we had on. I found him on TikTok, and I was like, we just gotta get some people. We start getting people, they'll post us, we post them, blah blah blah. We'll get views, people will see us, and he was the first one. And my friend Jeremiah was having just life was hitting him like a truck. He's got 2 kids already, so scheduling was a crazy thing because originally we started and we were doing like 2 episodes a month, but now we're every week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was on like a couple episodes, and then we just like started doing it together. And then one day he asked me to send him a bunch of selfies, and I was like, why? And then he's like, for the thumbnails, all right. And then from there on,
Yeah, because in the
rest was
thumbnails,
history.
I just took his profile picture, threw it on there, and was like, boom. And I was like, you know what? He's a part of it now. We'll just get his face.
He was just
Back to
like,
the shrine for the side.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He was like, send me some selfies. Why? I'm lonely. He's like,
Anything
this
for the
sock ain't
homies.
gonna handle
I
itself.
text him randomly once a month. I go, make sure you send me your thumbnail faces.
Thumbnail faces. Ooh, dang.
Yeah.
I love that. So one of the things that we're actually, before I completely derail us, does everyone have their list of their MCU films?
I do.
Yes.
I think so, yeah. I think we can go like, what, you want to do like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, or like 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. Or
Yeah.
you want to do
5,
like
5, 5. We'll start at 5.
Yeah,
5, 5? Okay, cool. 5.
Does anybody have any honorable mentions?
I got a couple.
I got a couple. There's a bunch,
I
but
got
Yeah.
2. My list.
Okay.
This list,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I have goes to 7.
Yeah. You know what? Why don't we start off with everybody's honorable mentions?
Okay, cool.
who's on your bench? Go ahead.
On our bench, okay. I'll go ahead and start. I would think on my bench, if we're doing 7, my number 7 is gonna be the Marvels. I love the Marvels. It's a
Okay.
very, I think it's probably a controversial opinion, but I just love Iman Vellani so much. She's
Kamala
so
Khan
great.
she is my top 3 like best MCU characters just overall.
She's
Because
the girl.
I think as people who enjoy superheroes and comic books, if we were to ever get superpowers and then to meet the superhero that we love so much, we would be exactly her, and she represents that part of us all so amazingly.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks we haven't heard anything about a Miss Marvel season 2 or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I think she steals that movie, even with like, Oscar-winning Brie Larson, and she's just amazing in the movie. What were you gonna say, Spidey?
No, I was just gonna say I think she's low key gonna be in one of these next 2 projects. I think she's gonna be like the young, how like Spider-Man in Infinity War was like the brightness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's so many characters that we just don't know yet. You know what I mean? That they're not gonna show us. So I think
That's
she
true.
might, because that would be dumb not to. That's money right there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
And there's got to be other characters in the Doomsday or Secret Wars, because there have been leaks of makeup tests with certain characters that we have not gotten confirmed in that movie, and the leaks look real as hell. And I'm like, oh shit. So there's other people we don't know in that film. But real quick, Robert, I wanted to bounce off what you because you were talking about Iman Vellani. She's also the only MCU actor who has actually written for the comics as well.
Yes, she is.
Because she has written Miss Marvel in comics, as well as played her, helped with writing and figuring out how she feels that character works. So I feel like she doesn't get nearly enough credit.
any more
Rob?
honorable mentions, Rob?
Yeah.
Other honorable mention, I'm gonna say Shang-Chi. I don't think it's gonna make it doesn't make my top 5. But it's once again another character that we haven't seen a lot of. I know they were just introduced beginning of this past phase, so it's like let's get more to that. Simu Liu is great. I think that whole story is awesome, and it's cool to see. Not necessarily shooting lasers or guns. It's kung fu. It is like actual fighting and Destin. I forget his name.
Daniel Destin. Cretton,
Daniel Destin Cretton,
yeah. There you
go. He does fantastic in there, and I'm so excited to see what he does with Brand New Day.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Spidey, what about you?
I'll
want to
go
hear
ahead.
yours. I want to hear yours.
I did 10, so I did like a bench. I did 5 on the bench. I did Doctor Strange, the first one, First Avenger, Shang-Chi, Deadpool, Wolverine, Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Those are probably, I can watch those a lot. You know what I mean? All
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll throw mine out real quick. I've got 3. My first one, and you would think it'd make my list, but just barely doesn't, is Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is also on my honorable mentions. And this is a wild one. I know this is going to be a wild one, but I've just watched this movie so many times, and it's because I'm a shill. I understand, but Captain America: Brave New World. It's not a great movie. I will recognize it's not a great movie, but I had so much fun with it. I've watched that movie.
I liked it.
Dude, I didn't think it was as bad as people were making out to be. Everybody was making it seem like it was fucking Thor 4, and I don't understand why everybody was doing that. But
I think I told you, Alex, that like the first like 15 minutes of that movie is just like really not great for me. But after like once the Isaiah Bradley thing happens, I'm like, okay, now we're picking up. And that rest of that movie is so good.
Yeah, I think it's because that first 15 minutes is like, it feels like, hey, let's get the setup out of the way. Like, so it's very like, you got to sit through this to get to where the movie actually starts going. And then my last honorable mention, probably a little bit of a cheat, but I put Daredevil. Just all Daredevil shit. I know we're saying MCU, and I'm
I
like,
thought you were saying the Ben Affleck. I was like,
oh no.
Oh yeah.
Well, like I know we're saying MCU films, but like I feel like Daredevil's so good. I would say better than like a third of the MCU films, honestly. So I think
the shows are like movies, honestly. At this point, like it's still like a chapter of a character.
Yeah.
But Malachi, what you got?
All right, my honorable mentions. I've got 7, Avengers 2012.
Okay.
Very good.
My number 6, Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
And then
Age like 1.
For my 5, Winter Soldier.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's your 5th one. Like that's breaking into your top 5.
Yeah, that's breaking into my top 5.
Oh, okay. Rob, what's number 5 for you?
Again, might be controversial. I know a lot of people for some reason don't like this movie, but Spider-Man: Homecoming. Homecoming is awesome. I love it. I know a lot of people don't like it because, and Alex and I had a really large conversation about this, and a lot of things that I do agree with a lot of what he says about this movie, how it is kind of like another Iron Man movie technically, because it's like the reason why everyone hates Spider-Man is an Iron Man problem. People don't really hate Spider-Man. They kind of hate Iron Man in that movie. But I think Tom Holland is fantastic. It's great to see, an actual young-looking Spider-Man. Of course, I do have the issues with the suit and stuff. That's why it's brought down to the 5. But I think Tom Holland in that cast is so funny, and they make like such a perfect John Hughes-esque Spider-Man movie that it just does it for me. I love it.
Yeah. I always, for me, like I want to love it, and like everything in it is pretty peak, but something about it feels like a really good episode of like the Spectacular Spider-Man / like the Ultimate Spider-Man. Like it feels like an episode. It doesn't feel like a movie. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
you know
I 100%.
It doesn't feel cinematic enough. If that makes any sense. Like I don't know if it was the Vulture or whatever.
It feels
I love
more,
Michael Keaton.
It's like a filler episode.
Yeah, it wasn't cinematic enough for me. Like I thought the second one was more cinematic, but it wasn't as good of a movie, I would say. But like it just wasn't. It just felt like an episode, like another piece of the puzzle of it, rather than like another MCU movie. But that's how I felt.
Would you say for you it just like lacked like that little bit of like flair that made it memorable?
I don't know if I'm just a salty person, bro. I kind of hate that like he doesn't have his suit at the end, and I didn't like the final battle, especially after like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 came out, like the final act came out, and it was like way better. I thought, you know what I mean? Like it could have been so much more badass. Like I wanted to feel scared for Peter's life. I really wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that like.
That. But I think as like our first introduction to this Peter Parker, and they are saying like, hey, in the beginning, this is gonna be a very street level movie. Of course, eventually he does end up going to space in Infinity War. But I mean, to me, that's why I try not to give it too much slack, because I'm like, this is us setting, like, of course we have Sam Raimi's one where immediately he's fighting the Green Goblin and stuff like that. Of course, we don't have the luxury of doing that in this one because it's already been done 2 times before that. So it's like, okay, let's get a new one out. And of course, Sam Raimi was talking about doing the Vulture. Let's bring it in. And of course, yes, it's a different version, but we do have to deal with the MCU-ism of at that time, you know. So that's why I give it a little bit more grace. But like I said, I agree 100%. Definitely not as cinematic as a Spider-Man movie should be, but I do try and give it just a bit of grace when it comes to that.
I did love the dad reveal. I like that
yeah.
a lot. That was really cool because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting
Neither
any
was
twist in this movie. You know what I mean? So the fact that they just threw one in there, I was like, oh, okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Spidey? What's number 5?
Thunderbolts.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
Thunderbolts.
one. Holy shit, let's go.
Yeah, I loved it, bro. I have little to no complaints about this film, but I really enjoyed it. And the fact that we got our first like MCU Superman, you know what I mean? Like I thought it was really cool, bro. Like I really loved that scene. I loved how emotional it was. Like a bunch of characters that you not supposed to like, you like now. Like I really enjoyed it. It was and something about people can complain about like the gray palette. I like seeing the grayness again. You know what I mean? Something about that was really cool. And I love Yelena. She's so dope. Like I really do like her as a lead, and I'm excited for her to be a lead. You know what I mean, going forward. So, and Sentry. But Sentry was nuts. I really like Sentry.
Oh yeah, I feel like that movie took a lot of. I mean, that's the whole point of it, right? They took a lot of the characters that were like, you know, because before that, Red Guardian was just the joke character, and Black Widow. You know, John Walker was kind of the one that kind of just got shit on by Sam and Bucky for no good reason in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then Yelena had like great moments in Black Widow, but that movie, like you said, really solidified her as like just a force to be reckoned with. And all those characters just got so much spotlight they didn't before.
For sure. Yeah. What's your 5th, brother?
I am gonna for me, number 5 is Infinity War.
Okay.
Yeah,
at least it's in there.
What was that?
At least it's in there.
A little low, I would say.
Really? Look,
it's in his top 5. That's all.
It is in the top 5.
And Infinity War, it is such, and just spoiler completely, Endgame just did not make my top 5 at all. You know, I think Endgame is a great homage film to everything that came before it. But like on its own, you can't watch that movie without the context of everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's such a fan service movie, and that's not bad, but it's very fan service heavy. You know, it's a movie for all those people that had been watching the other 30 movies, right? But yeah, no, Infinity War I think is just the perfect, it's snappy, it doesn't fucking stop. And then when it does stop, it is when everyone gets dusted at the end. Like that's the only time that movie halts for a second, and like it just lets you feel all of that, and then just the way it just cuts to black as it ends. I remember walking out of that theater and being like, "That was the best thing I've seen in my life. I fucking hated it." Like, you know.
Yeah, like the feeling after was like, did I take a shower? Like, what like, what happened? I remember, bro, it was so quiet. I was in such a good theater for the first watch, bro. It was dead silent, bro. You could have dropped a feather. Someone would have heard it, bro. It was so quiet. Everyone was just like, what? It was so good, bro.
Yeah,
so good.
Like usually you go to the movie and you're kind of like, everyone's walking out and you almost got to hold your ears as you're walking in because everyone's talking about the movie, right? Yeah. That one, nobody said shit. Everybody just funneled out of the theater and was just quiet.
Yeah, because everyone leaving the theater is so depressed they don't even want to tell you what's happening.
Shaking and shit.
They're just like, you're going to see it.
Yeah, it's like getting spanked from your dad and you're just walking away because there's nothing to say. It's like, I'm just traumatized.
Shell-shocked walking out of it.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Fucking it. All right, Malachi, hit me with your fourth, right? Or
4.
Fourth?
Captain America: First Avenger.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Alex, I know it's higher for you.
It is higher for me.
Yeah.
Out of all of the Captain America movies, though, the First Avenger it's my favorite one out of all of them.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. I think it doesn't get enough love. I think that's a great take.
It's the best origin story we've gotten.
So good
out of the entire MCU, probably besides like
Doctor Strange is pretty good.
Doctor Strange is pretty good.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, I think you're exactly right. Like Iron Man and Captain America, I feel like those. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil my list, but anyway, but like those are, like you said, like probably perfect origin stories for those characters. They hit so good. They hit so good.
Who's next?
Rob, what's your 4?
My number 4, and I had a really big problem jumping. This is another trilogy. I had a problem with either putting number 1 or number 3 on there, but I'm gonna go Guardians 1.
Okay.
I think Guardians 1 changed the game so much. I think like people we're no longer afraid to be funny with coming with these. We had like the Joss Whedon's stuff that happens in like the original kind of Avengers movies, but like jumping into Guardians is like, hey, we can be quirky. And James Gunn really had that like ability because no one knew Guardians of the Galaxy. So it wasn't like, oh, like it's not gonna be a bastardization of this beloved character or anything like that. So being able to come in there, basically reshape the Guardians to whatever he wanted to. And man, it's a great origin story with these all right here. It balances all those introductions of all these very crazy characters. Like, how do you introduce a talking raccoon and a talking tree in the same movie as a guy getting abducted from Earth? Like it's really difficult to do all that sort of stuff within the first 15-20 minutes of this movie, and then boom, from then on, it really goes off. Like I said, I was really debating either the first one or the third one, because the third one, I cried my eyes out. But I don't
good.
I don't think you would get that feeling of how much you love Rocket and seeing Cosmo the space dog and stuff like that without having this very first one and setting that now. And man, Chris Pratt is fantastic in that role of Star-Lord. So that is going to be my number 4.
Great answer.
I like that.
Spidey?
4, I got Fantastic Four. I put it at my 4.
Okay.
Yeah, people shouting. I loved it, bro. I did. I loved every second. I wanted more of it, but that was my biggest complaint. Was like, I know how much they cut out of this movie. I just wanted more of it, to be honest with you. I love the costume design. Like, I love that they made it like the 60s in this other universe. I loved it, bro. I love Peter Pascal as Reed Richards. That was like everyone's big controversy. I thought he was really good. Everyone says something about him being smart, blah blah blah. They showed his smartness plenty. I thought. I love the Galactus stuff. Silver Surfer was badass. Anything with Silver Surfer and a Human Torch is so cool. Like, you know what I mean? So we got more of that. That was cool. I wanted like another 30 minutes of Ben. Honestly, yeah. I love him so much. He's one of my favorite MCU castings. He's like by far in my top 5 MCU castings. That's like just my little hot take. I loved him as Ben Grimm. I just wanted way more of him. And I liked how powerful they made Sue Storm, and they showed it. I just loved it all. I loved it, bro. I did.
Yeah,
but that's my 4th.
I think Fantastic Four was one of those movies that like they didn't have to go too hard, because it was like, I know there was a lot kind of writing on the Fantastic Four coming in, with whatever, but I think it was like, hey, let's just do an MCU movie, our MCU Fantastic Four. Because if they did anything different than from, the OG Fantastic Four, anything is better than Fan Four Stick. But like anything like the original like movies Fantastic Four, people would be like, oh my God, why did you do blah, blah, blah. I think they did perfect. And I'm glad that they made, Sue Storm the center of that movie. Because it was fantastic seeing her from like being kind of just like a sex figure, unfortunately, in like the original ones, to now being like, hey, like I am, I'm a mother, I'm strong, I'm in charge of all these relations between countries and stuff. It's fantastic. It was great to see that.
Yeah, she is one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. Like, I wanted to display it. I mean, like she took down Galactus, bro. You know what I mean? That was cool. I loved it, bro. But what do you got for your 4th, Alex?
My 4th is Shang-Chi.
Very good.
I think Shang-Chi doesn't get enough love. I am surprised that we don't have a third Shang-Chi movie at this point, because what was it, 2020 or 2019 that Shang-Chi came out? I don't exactly remember, but it was like right after Endgame. I hear the typing, so I'll
2021.
2021 to see. So 2021. How have we had like the amount of Spider-Man movies that we've had? Like, you know what I mean? In the same time, I don't understand why we don't have at least a second one of Shang-Chi. I think that movie did really well, and obviously they liked it, like people and Marvel, because same director is doing Spider-Man, arguably their biggest character.
I know.
Yeah, man, no, Shang-Chi was great. I mean, I know echoing some of the stuff that y'all were saying earlier about it, but just the fighting's great, the character work is great in that one, and even some of the ways that they bring in Trevor and some of the stuff that happened in Iron Man 3, all that stuff. Fantastic. And honestly, I'm going to go back and watch it 5 more times just because of Wonder Man. But
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Wonder Man was so good.
dude, Wonder Man's great. Yeah, but that's my number 4, Shang-Chi.
All right. Did you do your 4th, Malachi?
No, Malachi's usually last.
No, I did my.
Oh,
fourth.
no, you started, right?
Yeah.
So you get 3rd.
Oh, so this is your 3rd. Yeah.
My 3rd is Fantastic Four.
Dang.
Nice.
Hey.
For similar
Yeah.
reasons or
Yeah,
just
pretty much all the same reasons. But really for me was like Johnny was just amazing. He was one of my favorite characters of the entire thing.
Yeah. And I like that they didn't just make him dumb.
Yeah, he was really smart. You know, he figured out the whole language barrier part between it, figured out the messages, and I think, you know, getting to actually see that part of Johnny instead of him just being an asshole the whole time. Was amazing.
This Johnny's ready to settle down, though. He's tired of the. He's ready to settle down.
We got a little bit of like asshole Johnny, but like I think the coolest part, and like you know, Robert mentioned it earlier, I feel like in the old Fantastic Four movies, they're all kind of like caricatures. Like, you know, Jessica Alba's like the really pretty one. Reed is the like, I'm tripping over my feet because I'm so smart. And then Johnny's just a sex addict. and Ben is just like, I hate everybody. And in this one, they just really like not only just made them caricatures, but all of them had something about them that you understood completely why they were making the decisions that they were making, and it just gave them so much more depth.
I can't wait to see a Fantastic Four movie where they don't have to worry about origin. I'm excited for them to be like, hey, they're settled now. This is who they are. Now let's get into the weird shit. I'm very excited to see.
Because Fantastic Four is the ones that get into the weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. It's like them and the X-Men. Like, them two are always like,
dude.
Like Blink and the X-Men are like the Shi'ar, and you're like, what is going on?
I know, they're like fighting like space cockroaches, and you're like, what is happening?
What's up?
No, I was gonna say, I really hope soon, like, since we have a Reed Richards finally, like, hopefully we get like a mega Science Bros scene. You know what I mean? With like somehow with like a version of Tony, Bruce, Spidey, like Reed, that Doctor Strange, that'd be so dope. Just get like all of them together, like just doing it. You know what I mean? Like that'd be cool. Like we'll see, but
that's the worst thing about Tony's death is some characters he didn't get to meet, like Reed Richards. Like, oh, that stuff is so good. Exactly.
Okay, so my number 3 is gonna be Iron Man 1.
Oh.
It's a little bit lower down, but man, that is a movie that like no matter what, I can just put it on and watch it. It's just the rewatchability of that, and then man, like Robert Downey Jr. kills that movie. It is so good to see like the very beginning. Like, of course, he's still the arrogant asshole in the beginning and the end, but you do see that change, and then I believe it's Stanley Tucci, right? That is Yensid or
no, it's not Stanley Tucci.
No,
Stanley Tucci is the Erskine in.
Oh yes,
but the other actor, I don't remember his name, but
Big Lebowski. I forget his name.
Sean Tube.
Yeah, Big Lebowski is Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Who's Obadiah? Yeah.
Obadiah. Yeah. He's also great in that movie too. But I mean, like, yeah, it's fantastic. Like, you get to see, like, hey, this is the new Iron Man right here. And of course, like, I mean, I'm sure we were all too young to really know, but like, apparently Iron Man wasn't a really big character. Like, no one really gave a shit about Iron Man. So like, they're like, yeah, go ahead and make a character no one cares about. And now, like, look at us talking about him, being like, oh man, unfortunately, like, we don't get to see Reed Richards and him talking and stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's amazing to see just the evolution of Tony Stark from here till Endgame. And that starts with Iron Man 1. And it honestly, it's also just a time capsule for the area. They make jokes about, so much stuff that some of it might not fly nowadays, but it's
a lot of sexist jokes and Larry King references. You're like Larry King.
And they even make a Playboy like joke with
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, hey Hefner, it's Stanley. But yeah, it's amazing.
I think Iron Man 2, that's my hot take, is like super underrated. If you rewatch that movie, it's so good, Iron Man 2. Like, that doesn't get enough love. I don't think that movie.
Like Beard.
That's how
I agree.
think about
I
it.
never
agree.
understood how anybody ever said that one wasn't good. Because I remember as a kid watching Iron Man 2 and being like, this is the best film ever made. And then now being almost 30, I'm like, this is the best film ever made.
Yes, yes. I want my brother.
Is it me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my number 3, and maybe this is a little bit of a hot take, is Age of Ultron. I think is higher than Infinity War, higher than Endgame for me, and the main reason is because it is the only Avengers movie that is just a movie. Like, the first Avengers movie is they're all coming together. This is the start of the Avengers. The third one is this is the big battle we've been leading up to, and then the fourth one is the love letter to the whole thing. And Age of Ultron is the most comic booky, just an Avengers adventure that we have out of any of the films. And that's personally why I like it the most. And it's not that I think that it's a better movie necessarily, but for me, I think it's the best one for rewatchability. And that's really what I think about when I'm like putting the movies on the list. It's not just which one is the best one. Like for DC movies, I would never put the Batman in my top 3. It's a great movie, but you got to be in a very specific mood to watch that damn movie.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Age of Ultron. That's not how I feel about Age of Ultron. I feel like I can watch this whenever. It's a great, like, you know, it's constantly moving. Is some of the stuff dumb? Some of the stuff dumb. Does Captain America have the best suit that he's ever had in the MCU in this movie? In my opinion, yes. But yeah, no. So for me, Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron.
There's some great scenes in that movie. The one where you get to see the Avengers, like, you know, trying to pick up Mjolnir and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I agree that there are some really good scenes in that movie.
Well, those are all the scenes that they call back to in Endgame that everyone cries about. Like the whole, like, you said you were going to be there. We'd do that together, or we'd lose together too. Mm-hmm. You know, the lifting of Thor's hammer. So much of the stuff that gets paid off in those later movies came from Age of Ultron.
I think there's the one thing I don't like about that movie, and I still remember walking out of the movie because I used to work in the movie theater, and I got an early showing, allegedly. Disney, don't sue me. I remember walking out being like, man, there's so much setup for Infinity War in that movie, though. Like, they talk about the Infinity Stones and stuff like that, which I agree, like, it is like a movie, but, like, there's a whole, like, 10-minute scene of Thor taking a bath, and he, like, comes back up, and he's, like, seeing these visions in the Infinity Stones, and I'm like, I was like,
his little side quest, yeah.
That is definitely the weakest part of that film.
Yes, I agree.
Spidey, I saw you making some mad faces. I want to know what you had to say.
About the Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. If I came off mad, I just...
Oh, no.
I was agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you, bro, because I love Age of Ultron. I love... And I'm not going to lie, you said a couple other things that, like, I can't remember right now, but yeah, I was locked in, bro. You were singing to me, bro. You were singing to me, bro. I was locked in. I agreed with everything, bro. Like, that was a great take. That was a great take, bro. I really like it because when I go on Disney Plus now, you look at it like they just look like comics. It's like you're picking a comic book. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's so cool. So when you said that, I agree with that completely. And that's what I was gonna say, because you said about his suit. There's a shot in the Ulysses Claw's in Age of Ultron in his
like the ship. Yeah,
and you see all 3 of them. My favorite suits, all 3 of them. They look so good. The Trinity looks so good in that shot.
So clean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
I think that's the best they've looked, bro. Like, because every other movie, one of them looks stupid. In my opinion, in Infinity War, the Iron Man suit is not good. In my opinion, I don't like
Endgame's better than Infinity War.
Yeah, for Iron Man, but then they did Thor dirty in Infinity or in Endgame.
Yes.
So
that could have been. If he was in shape, that could have been good.
If it was Thor from the end of Infinity War with Cap and Iron Man right there,
perfect. Chef's kiss.
Tell us, Malachi.
All right.
Or did Spidey give us a
Yeah,
number
you
three?
didn't. You didn't give
Yeah,
us
yeah.
Oh,
give us
Civil
number
War,
three.
Civil War, Civil War.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I skipped Spidey. My bad.
Yeah, like I will say, it's because it's funny. You just said like you don't think it's necessarily the best movie, but it's a great comic book standalone. I think Civil War is damn near close to being a perfect movie. I think it's so well rounded. Like just everyone from the beginning to the end, like their stories just go like this. You know what I mean? Like everyone's has a motivation. Everyone shit on Zemo because he wasn't that big or cinematic, but he won. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, he won completely. They introduced Spider-Man and Black Panther and got that movie done. You know what I mean?
Dude.
I like people say it peaked at the as far as action with the airport scene. I love the end fight scene. It's so emotional, that scene. Like the movie's so good, bro. The movie's so good.
I think
that movie I will
think
say is a
Civil
little
War
gray,
peaked.
but I liked it.
I think Civil War peaked by getting the community to like team up against each other and pick a side between different superheroes.
Yeah.
Like Team Cap or Team Iron Man. What are you?
And it made so much more sense than the BVS thing when they tried to do that with BVS, where they were like Batman or Superman, and it was like, shut up.
I think the only thing that I would like knock on that movie is like I feel bad that Captain America couldn't get another movie because to me that was a little Avengers-y. But like other than that, I mean that movie, like I said, it's damn near perfect. It is so damn good. Black Panther was fantastic in that movie. God, what a good movie. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm not gonna watch it tonight.
The beginning, bro, where they're just like literally from the beginning action scene to where they're talking to Ross about it. It's so good, bro. Like they're just breaking down like you guys have been messing up. You need to answer to us because way too many people are dying, bro. You know what I mean? And
they're
like,
called
but
the
you can't
Avengers
blame
for
Cap.
a reason.
Yeah, you can't blame Cap because last time, bro.
Avenging all the deaths.
For real. And it's just so good because you can't blame Cap because the last time he signed up for you guys are really Nazis. You know what I mean? So he can't like. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, bro. Like it's so good. Like I love Civil War so much.
I'm changing my list. No, I'm kidding.
We gotta ask though, are you guys Team Cap or Team Iron Man when it comes to Civil War?
On, bro.
Oh,
come on,
Iron Man. No, I'm kidding.
Team Cap. I mean, like, yeah. To me, it's like such a hard sell to be on Team Iron Man. Be like, hey, sign up for the government. Like, no. Like,
to be a Team Iron Man guy in the big 2-6.
Yeah.
Their team was stacked though. The team was stacked.
The team was stacked.
Their team was 100%. I think anybody who was Team Iron Man just really liked Iron Man. I don't think it was about like the position.
They were excited for Spider-Man.
That's true. That's very true. Man, Captain America, when you think about the teams in that movie, Iron Man's rolling up with 2 Iron Man dudes because him and War Machine, the Vision, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Black Widow, and then Captain America is walking up with a regular dude, a slightly less regular dude.
And not strong Wanda. She Wanda didn't know her powers yet. You know?
Yeah, dude. When you think about it, you're like, in reality, Team Cap would have gotten curb stomped if it wasn't for some good writing.
They outsmarted them.
Oh, yeah. Malachi starts with number 2.
All right. In my number 2 spot,
I'm hyped.
Infinity War.
Okay. Okay.
Very good.
You know, it's just
obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons, of course, but I've always liked it more than Endgame. It's always been to me one of the most rewatchable MCU movies ever.
100%. I agree.
And
it doesn't stop. The movie doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like Guardians for the same reason. I love how in the beginning they just got their shit rocked. I love that, bro. I love that so much. I did like it just draws you in like, oh man, what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? Like they already got their shit rocked in the first 15 minutes, you know. But yeah, so good. Who's next?
I think it's Rob, right?
Yeah, Rob.
My number 2, Thunderbolts.
Okay.
I love the Thunderbolts so much. Going into that, I was so like, I'm just gonna watch this movie. I had the lowest expectations for this movie going in. Not necessarily not having no hope, but being so like within that MCU fatigue of being like, okay, we're just getting the same thing over and over again. Thunderbolts just subverted that expectation so hard, and the way like the actors just knock it out of the park. Like there is not a weak person in that cast. Even like the characters that I thought I really wasn't gonna give a shit about, just like stole scenes. Like Ghost, I didn't think I was gonna care about her. But I'm like, oh, that's really awesome. I mean, yeah, kind of everything everyone said before. John Walker finally gets to make a name for himself, and he is a little. Of course, he is a bit different than he was in, a Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But yeah, I get to see like who he is, and still being like he's like I'm a tool for the government, and or like for Valentina doing that, and then Florence Pugh is amazing. She's one of my favorite actresses out there right now. David Harbour is great in that movie as well. But how it talks so much about mental health and all of that with someone that struggles with mental health sometimes as well. It was
The
really
movie did
great to
come
see
out
like
during Mental Health Awareness Month.
yeah, definitely. It's like it was great to see that like hey, we don't have to punch things. Sometimes it's like you just need other people to be there with you in that moment. That saves the day. It was such a fantastic message, and God, I can't wait to see them more with in Doomsday.
I can't wait to see more from Taskmaster.
I was gonna say, I was gonna be like, rest in peace, Taskmaster.
Hey, at least you got some type of redemption. Like at least that was a dope action scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Taskmaster suit was so much better in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And we got it for 14 seconds.
Yeah.
I would say a little more than that. You could see the body on the ground.
He's like when they're looting her body, Fallout style.
All right, Alex, your number 2.
Okay, my number 2, Iron Man 1. First Iron Man. Same thing. I'm not gonna spend too long on it, but I think probably one of the most perfect superhero origin stories. I love that it like immediately Tony Stark's on screen for 30 seconds. You know what this guy's about. He's about drinking, being an asshole, and getting women. Like that is it. And I love that in the progression of this whole thing, he maintains being an asshole. It's just at the beginning he's an asshole because he's selfish. And at the end, he's an asshole because he wants to protect the things that he loves. So it's like a great character progression that literally starts from the moment that movie goes into the ending. Tony Stark is always growing in that movie. But yeah, I just think it's perfect. That, and I think if this Iron Man suit had never changed, that was the perfect Iron Man suit in that first film. It could have just stayed that way the whole time. I would have been okay with it. So good.
Nice.
Spidey?
Iron Man suits are another thing. I just go back and forth. There's a lot of cool ones. Like one of my favorites is the final suit of Avengers. What?
Show off the one you got today.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, that's so funny. I literally just picked that up. I'm a big Marvel Legends guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro. My Marvel Legends collection is nuts, bro. But yeah, I just picked this up, bro. It was on sale. I was like, that. But one of my favorites is the end of Avengers, bro. I love that suit at the end of Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the
number
one
2
behind me is the Endgame suit.
Ooh.
Oh, Endgame and the first Avengers. Those two are pretty crazy. I'm gonna go No Way Home. It should be at my first, but my first is my first. But No Way Home, it's up there, bro. Especially the extended version. Like I'm just one of those people that like if there's an extended version, it makes it a little better. I always try to watch that one. Because when I rewatch things, and I love the extended edition, bro. And it's again self-explanatory, bro. It's just so much. I love that it was his story, the first half, and the last hour. It's helping fix his story with the culmination of like Peter and there's nostalgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like he probably was just gonna find him and kill Green Goblin. You know what I mean? If they didn't come. So I like that they came and they had to be his big brothers because he had no family at that point. You know what I mean? Because then he wasn't gonna. It's not like he was gonna see Happy one last time. Like that was it. You know what I mean? So, but it was so good. It was so good. I loved all the little things like when Doctor Strange takes him out of his astro form and you see the wiggles from the spider sense.
For the spider sense.
Yeah, so good. So good. Like all those type of things. And people forget, like there was a whole fight scene with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. That was so sick. Like I love the Doc Ock fight scene with the Iron Spider suit. not crazy about the Iron Spider suit, but that scene, I really like that action scene. And then the end is obviously the ending. You got the three boys talking as much as they were talking to each other. It was so dope, bro. And yeah, I love No Way Home. And then you got this catching her. Ooh, I love that. That was so good. So
well, to go off what you're saying, I think one of the best things about that movie is it's going to be a cultural thing forever for people. Because like right now, me and my wife are currently watching through all the Spider-Man movies with my daughter. She hasn't seen them all. So we recently got done with all 3 Tobey movies. We're like in the middle of watching Amazing Spider-Man 1. And so we're gonna watch all these movies to lead up to that one. So I'm super excited to see what her reaction is gonna be. But it's one of those things where like that is the Avengers of Spider-Man movies. Like you're always gonna have that lead up to that one.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was. I was actually gonna make a video about this. This was just like a me like rambling hot take, but I don't like his suit, Tom Holland's suit in that movie. So I wish when Green Goblin like roughed him up, I wish he would have just grabbed the Homecoming suit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And put that on because at least they would have all been matching. But like I don't like his suit, bro. At the end of the movie, I don't care for it.
I agree 110%. Like I think we should have had all of them in the red and blue, like that part where they're stopping on the Statue of Liberty, like, and they're all like doing their little pose. If he just wouldn't have been in that stupid integrated suit, it would have been like I would have been like, tattoo that on me right now. Like that looks so good. And his black suit with his stupid like golden thing is the one thing about that scene where I'm like, why did y'all do that?
It could have been 10 out of 10.
It really feels like they're like, we need to sell toys and we need to make sure he stands out against the other 2 Spider-Men. And I'm like, his
those suits are so fucking iconic. Like those are iconic suits.
They are, but like I would think Tom Holland's Steve Ditko eyes would have been enough to differentiate him from the other guys. But whatever.
At least we're getting this new suit. It looks. I'm hoping it looks good. Like a live action because it looks good now, but it does look a little cosplay, just like all the behind the scenes stuff. But I'm hoping
they're gonna do some CG and stuff on top. Yeah,
for sure. Who's next?
I think Malachi's doing his number 1.
Well, weirdly enough, my number 1 is No Way Home.
Oh, okay.
Tobey's Spider-Man. He's always been my goat. It was the first my first superhero movie ever was Spider-Man. It was Tobey's Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi movies. My first movie theater watch of any superhero movie was Spider-Man. Always been my goat. So just getting that nostalgia of getting to see him again was amazing. But
and I love the little tidbits of him and Mary Jane and stuff. Like, they didn't tell us too much, but you're like, oh fuck.
Just to hear the little bits of so that's where his story went off to. He got his little happy ending. And then of course with Andrew, love Andrew, and then with what Spidey said, how you got to see him. He caught Mary Jane because he never got to catch Gwen, and just getting that little redemption out of him was amazing.
So many great moments in that ending. Like the last 20 minutes of that movie are probably some of the best piece of superhero cinema ever.
Yeah. And Willem Dafoe is my number 1 MCU villain of all time.
Go.
Dude.
Just
so good.
Doesn't matter how big and bad you are, how many people you kill, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is top tier.
And I love that variation that they do of his costume. It is so cool. That is just the goggles and just a hint of the purple. It's a perfect MCU way to do that sort of thing. Because you had the weird abomination in TASM 2 that I hate, the Dane DeHaan Goblin. And then you have the really comic booky one from the Sam Raimi one. This is the perfect way to be he has the armor, but he doesn't have the weird mask going on.
And also with Willem Dafoe, I feel like a thing people don't talk about enough is that movie came out literally 20 years after the first Spider-Man movie. He didn't miss a day. He did it was
physically too,
dude. Yes, whether it's just his acting ability or just the way that he looks, he looks like he stopped filming Spider-Man 1 and then just went into that movie. Like it didn't miss anything. Like sometimes actors come back as their character and you're like, they're a little different. They lost it a little bit. That was not the case with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, bro. I even love what they did with Jamie Foxx. I didn't like that they didn't bring whatever Churchill back. I forget his name. Something Hayden Church. For Sandman.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like that they did that, but I love what they did with Electro, because that's as best as you're gonna make Electro look. You know what I mean? Because his comic book look is so goofy. Like, it's ridiculously goofy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the fact that they made the electrical mask, I wish we would have got a closer shot, especially when he's in the apartment. You know what I mean? We should have got it then. But like, I still like the whole getup at the end of it. So, but yeah, I don't like the whole Sandman thing. I don't know. Like, you could have paid him an extra 20 grand to be there. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it was just. I think it was COVID.
I
think
he said he didn't want to. He wanted to be in it, but I don't think he was comfortable going on set.
Yeah,
I think that might be.
They filmed that movie.
Older too, yeah.
He is. They filmed that movie in 2020, and if I remember correctly, the only reason that it was just voiceover work was because he was like, "I'm not going on set. I'm not gonna die." And it's like, okay, if that's
understandably.
Yeah.
Who's next? Who's got their number one?
I think I'm next. My number one is Infinity War. Infinity War.
Okay.
I didn't say too much earlier because I was like, it's gonna be my number one. But Infinity War is like the movie to end all movies to me. It is perfect. It gets all the characters involved as well as it can. A big love letter to like the original kind of characters. It's so great. What hasn't been said before about this thing right here? Just the impact of all these people getting blipped away. It's fantastic. I have nothing else to say what y'all guys have already said before.
Yeah, I mean,
Who's going?
Well, I'll go next because that's mine. Infinity War is my number one. Because when at the end of the day, bro, like I love Spider-Man. They're really both my number ones, but for Infinity War, I always used to hear people say like Star Wars and Batman were like the big things back in the day. Mm-hmm. And then like Star Wars was everyone's big like first sci-fi space opera, like holy crap, you can do that with a movie. You know what I mean? And for me, that was Infinity War. Like I was so blown away by Infinity War. You know what I mean? Because Star Wars was already around for a while when I was growing up. So like when I saw Infinity War, I was like, that was my space opera. Kind of like I would say that with Guardians, but Infinity War was 10 times better. You know what I mean? Just so like that was my and I was still 18. I wasn't even that young of a kid. I was 18 when it came out. But like I was just watching, and I was like, wow, I've never to this day I've seen anything like that. And to me, one of the best openings and endings to any movie ever, bro. The beginning of that movie 100%. And the end of that movie are crazy, bro. They're so good. But yeah, that's my number one for sure to this day.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. So my number one might be a hot take. Thor: Love and Thunder. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey! Whoa, got me getting out of my chair.
His hand came through the screen. No, for me, it's the first Avenger, Captain America, the first Avenger. And to me, Iron Man and Captain America, like we mentioned earlier, just two of the best, starts to those characters. And it's done something that really no other movie until Fantastic Four did, where they did a period piece kind of movie, where the whole thing was, not just bringing superheroes into our current worlds, but bringing a superhero into the 40s, a different stylized kind of vibe. And it does it so well. That movie I've seen, I don't know how many times. Chris Evans, I think, kills the role of Captain America. Just how humble he is, how powerful and hopeful he is, but still keeping almost like this odd innocence about him that he doesn't lose until Winter Soldier. But to me, that's like peak MCU, because it's not just about connectivity, which the movie does connect to other things, but it's back when the MCU could tell really good standalone stories that I feel like they've kind of lost a little bit, in some cases. But yeah, my number one, Captain America, First Avenger.
Malachi, right?
I did mine.
Oh
No,
no,
he kicked us off. He kicked us off.
All right,
with,
sweet.
for
All
once.
right, so let's get it moving because we spent a lot of time on that shit. Wonder Man. I want to talk about that a little bit. We almost got into it before, but yeah, Wonder Man was next level, bro. I'm just gonna get your thoughts about that a little bit.
Robert, I want to hear yours.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we kind of talked about it on our I think our last episode of Geekday. But man, Wonder Man is awesome. I fell in love with Wonder Man. Like once they announced it, I was like, let me go and look up some stuff. So I started collecting Wonder Man singles from the '80s, and I've been reading them like that. Of course, the character is very different from the comic book world,
Yeah.
but man, that show rocks. Alex and I, coming from that theater actor kind of world, getting to see that like behind the scenes again, being like all the auditions and all that sort of stuff. And really the main thing about Wonder Man that, kicks ass is like Trevor is the thing that keeps on giving. Like it starts off as a joke. It starts off as a joke in the very first time he's mentioned. Until now, where he is this hard, like you see the reason why this character was like quote unquote important, why they're making him important. There's so much more you can do with that character, and the love of acting, and then two being like, okay, yes, it like this is originally out of self-preservation, and then to the end, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't watched it yet, but the way that like where he ends up in after the show, it's just so great. And then finally, like the one thing I'll say before we jump to everyone else, I don't want to take too much time, is that like the fantastic way that they use Simon's power as like kind of a symbol for anxiety is so great. Where it's like, yes, it's all this thing that's building up. Where usually, if some other people, it would cause them to lash out or to have panic attacks. This literally causes his powers to lash out and to damage other things, which shows that yes, he could be, like the Department of Damage Control says, like he could be very dangerous, but
Mutant.
yes,
I think he's gonna be a mutant.
there is that theory that he is a mutant. That yeah, they say that yes, he'd be very dangerous, but you see that like hey, it's just like something he needs to work on. But I loved Wonder Man. I'm really sad that there's probably not going to be another season because it is that Marvel Spotlight thing that they do. Nor do I believe that they're going to bring him into a lot of other projects. I think I was telling Alex that he's going to do basically the exact same thing what they're doing with Kumail Nanjiani's character from Eternals, where they'll be like posters being like Simon Williams in blah 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 like in the background. But I don't think he's gonna get like they're not gonna do West Coast Avengers or anything like that. At least I don't believe. But that's my take on it.
Yeah, to kind of jump off Robert, I agree with everything Robert said. I think the show's fantastic. I think it didn't get nearly, and I've made several videos on this. It didn't get enough marketing. I feel like like I was getting marketing for Daredevil Born Again the day that that Wonder Man came out, and I have my whole own belief on why that's the case, but. I'm so glad that the word of mouth has really spread about this show because it deserves it 100%. It's so good. It's one of those things where it goes above and beyond what a superhero thing you would think it's supposed to be, and it really transcends the genre of what superhero things are. If anything, it's almost not a disservice because superhero things aren't bad, but it's almost mischaracterizing it to call it a superhero thing because it's a great character-driven show where he happens to have superpowers, right? But I think it's absolutely fantastic. I don't agree with Robert. I am going to hold out hope that they're going to inject him in other places. We need more of him. So good. The stuff with Trevor, I was fucking crying at the end. I was just like, I was downstairs marathoning Wonder Man. My wife and daughter were upstairs asleep, and my wife called me. She's like, "Are you okay?" Because when Trevor does what Trevor does in that episode, I just went, "Oh my god!" And she was like, "Are you okay?" But it was wild. So good. So fantastic. Like Robert said, I do agree. I don't think we're going to get more like Wonder Man standalone stuff, but man, I hope we get him in something else because everyone in that show is good. Show is absolutely fantastic. And again, the marketing thing, I don't understand why it didn't get marketed enough because it was also semi-directed by how do we say?
Daniel Destin Crin.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know if I went off there. It's like, there you go. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, fantastic. We need more Marvel stuff like that.
I agree. I agree with the marketing thing completely. They're so wishy-washy. It's either they don't do it enough, or they do it super last minute, or they only like the ads are only on like certain things. Not, I don't know. The marketing is so inconsistent. Or they're like, let's focus on this character so much and not these characters. But
I kind of felt
one
like with the marketing, they were kind of like, we'll let, because it's, everyone's going to think, if we market it, they're going to think of it as more of a bigger superhero show than it is. So we'll let it speak for itself.
that's
I can see
very
that.
true.
I can see that as well, but I also feel like if they were going to do that, just market it and don't show any superpower stuff. Like, just make it about him trying to get into the movie. You know what I mean? Like, and it could just be like, oh, a random Marvel thing where he's an actor. Who gives a shit, right? But it just felt like they just didn't want to do shit. I don't get it. My grandma knew when She-Hulk was coming out, but nobody knew when Wonder Man was coming
my
out.
grandma
It's
did
wild.
It's that same thing where like I also don't remember Werewolf by Night stuff like advertisements and stuff for that either. I think that's maybe the not the goal but the idea when it comes to this Marvel Spotlight series. It's like, hey, this is the weird shit that we're doing. Like this is like this isn't necessarily like
It's not
the Avengers
mainstream.
Endgame. Yeah, and this is like a side project to talk about, which great that we're getting recognition for these smaller characters, but also, hey, we should like put these up a little bit more so more people talk about it. And hey, it did. I mean, it's got like what 98s or 96s on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was like one of the most streamed shows that week. I binged all of it on my plane ride back from my vacation. So I was like, it's fantastic. It really helps. It really makes me wonder like what's the next Marvel Spotlight going to be? And Alex and I kind of talked about that. Like, do y'all have a character that you would kind of want to get the Wonder Man kind of treatment?
I thought I thought Punisher and Vision. I don't know how their shows are going to come out, but maybe them two, But I can't. I mean, I'm one of the people that kind of want Moon Knight season 2, but apparently that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know, Malachi.
I agree.
I don't know. Do you want anything, Malachi?
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that I would want to see.
Ooh, honestly, I think if they do a couple of, I have two things, bro. If they did a couple of X-Men characters going forward, but one thing I've always said, bro, is like I always thought give Hulk a show and make him a schizophrenic with like different Hulks, like the Gray Hulk's inside him, the regular Hulk's inside him, like you know what I mean? Like that's how I because that's how I remembered the show growing up. Like I could be capped because I haven't seen that show in years, but I remember there was multiple Hulks that Bruce was always fighting against. There was multiple Hulks
that's
inside
the
of
whole
him.
thing of why there's Bruce and why there's Hulk is because he has a personality disorder. That's why She-Hulk doesn't have the two difference because she doesn't have the personality disorder.
Yeah, I think Hulk could have got a good show, bro.
Yeah, and I think that's a great one because even things like Joe Fixit is off of Hulk. His kind of perception on what like a cool guy is, right? Or I'm sorry, Bruce's perception of what a cool guy is. I think that'd be a great one, dude, because there's so much cool stuff you can do with it. Like you said, regular Hulk, Gray Hulk, Joe Fixit.
If they were to do
Infernal
one
Hulk, all that crazy shit
with the MCU, they should do where he goes to wherever off planet during She-Hulk and then has Scar. I think that would be a pretty interesting show. Like he just kind of came back. He's like, "Oh yeah, got my kid now."
My Shaolin monk kid.
And then we never hear or see about this kid ever again.
I almost want them to do like if they were going to do that, I'd almost want it to just be like in the past. Like give me a prequel thing. Yeah. Like,
like Black Widow's movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Like put it back a little bit so we don't got to worry about Professor Hulk and all this shit. Or put it as like that happened within those 5 years while he was figuring out the Professor Hulk stuff. Like that's what led him to it or something like that, right? I don't even care if he looks like Edward Norton all of a sudden again.
Honestly, if he came back as Ed Norton's Hulk, I wouldn't be upset.
But something I wanted to ask you guys while we're kind of because you brought up Vision Quest, and obviously Punisher. We're getting that Punisher spotlight thing coming up. It looks like it's probably going to come around the time, or if not right before Spider-Man. At least that's what John Bernthal has kind of let slip. But do y'all have like a thing that is like your big thing that you're excited about this year? Because we have a lot of superhero shit coming out this year, whether it's in the comic stuff or the movie stuff, the shows. We'll keep it to like movies and shows. But like, y'all have like a project that y'all are super excited about this year?
I was pretty hyped for Wonder Man because that was the only one that we didn't know much about. You know. What are you thinking, Malachi?
And here I can, if y'all want, I have a list in front of me, and I can go over the ones that are coming out.
For me, it'd be
I don't mind
Daredevil or Vision Quest.
Hell yeah, I'm super interested in what the hell Vision Quest is even going to be. Like,
Yeah.
I think I think it's going to be about Billy finding Vision.
That'd be interesting.
That makes sense.
Because I feel like somehow he's gonna find his way back to Wanda at some point, either Doomsday, Secret Wars, whatever. But I think beforehand he'll find his way to Vision, just knowing with the memories he has from WandaVision that is his dad.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, what I'm also seeing here is that allegedly this is going to wrap up Vision's story.
Ooh, so then that means we probably won't get the love triangle of Wanda, Wonder Man, and Vision.
Or they can do the little side twist or the side story of that one animated show that came out that like maybe Wonder Man's at the end of Vision and they both die, so they have to put Wonder Man inside of Vision, and that's how Wanda is back with Vision.
Interesting. In a way, she's with both of them, but with
yeah. Because like the parent, like I think a good way to get Simon with Wanda is, oh, we both couldn't control your powers. I know what that's like, type of thing. You know, that's how they kind of get with each other. But I don't know. I don't even know if they're gonna do that, bro. Because that's like a whole nother like. Because I think they're gonna focus heavy on mutants and Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and shit. But I don't know what they're gonna do after that.
Yeah, I think the next major things they're gonna do is Fantastic Four, mutants, and then I don't think they're going to do Young Avengers. I think they'll do Champions. But actually, no, they'll probably do Young Avengers because the Avengers name is very important to them. Yeah,
the Avengers name is so big, and then we've gotten so many of the kids, especially now with the Doomsday trailer. We have probably, I would believe, to be James, Steve's son. So it's like we've got his kid, you've got young T'Challa, Scar, Kate Bishop. You got all the kids lined up.
America Chavez, Kamala, all of them. Yeah. Like they're there, and they did like a little thing for, I think it was like one of the Disney cruises where it was Kate Bishop, Riri Williams, and I think it was America Chavez, right? So like they were kind of like, propping it up to get people excited, and then they went, anyway, let's do another Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, because we've talked a little bit of like some doomsday theories of what we think is going to happen, and it's like we have said before that we think that Doom is going to come down. He's going to come and he's going to end up just taking all the kids. And he's getting rid of the next generation of superheroes, kind of thing.
So confirmed, Victor Von Doom is in the files.
I mean. Who else would be?
So I do have one last question, and I got to log off, boys. I actually have some movie tickets.
You're fine.
But my one last question, because we haven't got a lot of collectors out here, and I saw a couple of your videos that you do hauls, man. But what do you, besides like I see no comic books, what are you collecting right now, and what is your last haul, man? What have you been aiming for? I'm a big movie and Marvel Legends guy. I see comic books. What do you when you too, Rob, feel free to jump in. What do you guys collect?
Well, Rob, you start because you're collecting two. Like I perceive it as your two big things, but
I mean, I collect. I have a really bad habit with collecting a lot of stuff. So I mean, I collect Magic the Gathering cards, comic books as well. I'm doing focusing a lot on the volume 1, 2 of X-Men and New Mutants. Those are the really ones that I've really like tracked down, as well as I collect like TTRPG books. So I'd like any like TTRPGs that are out there. I think I have like 12 or something that I just like. The games I'm not gonna play or anything, but it's just a matter of really wanting all that stuff. I love just like the high of getting something that I've been trying to track down for a while, and then
I feel
paying
you.
the money for it, and
I
then
was,
just
I was,
putting it
I
on my
was a
shelf.
big Pokemon guy.
Yeah,
Got a lot of
yeah.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, but those are really the big things that I kind of collect, as well as like as you see my books. Once I try to read like digitally, and then if I like the book, I'll buy it and then put it on my shelf and just slowly but surely put it up there. But Alex, I know you be collecting.
Well, for me, the big thing is comics. I love collecting comics. I've always loved collecting comics. When I was younger, my comic buying was more like ASM, Amazing Spider-Man stuff. I remember collecting all the Venom stuff, all the Carnage stuff, and just getting signed Marvel Zombie stuff. I've always been super into collecting books or comics, but right now, a big portion of my collection, and maybe this is a terrible goal to have, but I want to own almost every Captain America comic book, and I'm saying almost because I know I'm not gonna get shit before 117. It's like 117 and on is what I'm aiming for. But I love, dude, like, and I'm sure you can probably know exactly what I'm saying, but I love going hunting and just walking away with a big ass stack of shit. Like it is just, it is
Yeah.
just it's a feeling, not just like, I don't know, I'm trying not to say I'm a hoarder, but just that feeling of like, I've been looking for this shit, I found it, I hunted it down, I got
Especially
it.
for a good price, bro.
Dude,
When it's a good price, ooh.
I love finding things like just for ridiculous prices. And I think that the comic industry, especially for single and older issues, we've gotten to a point where people understand that just because it's an old book doesn't mean you got to charge $30 for every book. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more accessibility for whether it's me or younger people getting into the hobby and stuff. And like I remember I was at a comic trading thing like a couple months back. And this guy, like, he had like an Amazing Spider-Man 375, and I was like, "What do you want for it?" He's like, "I'll give you $1," and I was like, "The fuck?" So I was like, "Okay," because he was just trying to move stuff. But dude, I love it. And the other thing that I really love, especially about collecting vintage comics, and I say this all the time, I love opening up vintage comic books, smelling that old newsprint paper smell, and just like I love knowing that, like, because some people, I mean, all comic collecting is conditioned, right? Everyone's like, I want this grade, I want this grade. And for me, as long as my staples aren't falling out, I really don't give a shit. I want to own it. I want it in my hands. I love knowing that some 8-year-old was reading this at one point. You know what I mean? And now I own it. It's just really cool. I like the history behind it. But yeah, dude, I love hunting comic books. It is probably as now at the end of my life, it's become one of my absolute favorite things to do. It's just going hunting, finding places that are just like, oh yeah, everything here is $2, everything here is $1. I went to Chicago and I spent like maybe like $150 at this place called the Comic Buying Center, because at the end of the month they have a room that is just like, hey, everything in these long boxes are $1. And it's like it's not like shit stuff. Like I was finding just huge portions of the run of Captain America I'm trying to fill out. So I love that shit. Absolutely love that.
Oh yeah, awesome, man.
Love to see it.
All right, boys. Well, I gotta hop off. Thank you guys so much, man. This was so dope. We got to do this again. Appreciate it, boys.
Thank you for having us. I had a
yeah.
blast.
Me
Robert just texted me. He said he hated it, but you don't gotta worry. No, I'm just Robert's like, stop.
I've got one question though before we end off.
Tell me.
What is something that you guys would tell your 10-year-old self about?
Oh my god.
We getting deep or we getting like funny?
However you want to do it.
Just give it an answer, bro.
I'm gonna go. I'll go first. Give Robert a second.
Okay.
But I think the big thing, and this is something that I feel like I learned at a really young age, and I constantly tell this to my wife, my friends, my daughter, is don't worry about other people and what they think about you, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you want to fit in, whether you want to be cool like everybody else. it doesn't matter. That chick at the middle school lunch table that you think is really cool, she's gonna be working at Payless for the rest of her life. You know, but my point is just don't worry about other people. Do you, be unashamedly you, regardless if you think that's stupid. Just absolutely be yourself. You're gonna be so much happier, so much faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably tell myself a quote from one of my favorite books. I have it tattooed on my arm, but it is, if you must fall, you will rise each time a better man. So, not to worry too much. Like, you're going to make mistakes, but the most important thing is to get back up, learn from those mistakes, and to just try and be a better person as much as you can. You can be. There's a bunch of people out there that, try to maliciously continue to be bad people. Don't be one of those people. We'll try to make the world just a bit better than how, than it was before.
Hell
I
yeah.
agree.
Well, all right.
Thank you, boys.
And then real quick, let them know where they can find you guys.
I'm at home. No, you can find me at AlexmoonTV on TikTok and Instagram, and then the AlexmoonTV on YouTube and on Twitch. And I also, and I'm sure Robert's going to mention it as well, you can listen to me on the Comic Creatures podcast. We're a TTRPG podcast. We have episodes that come out every week most of the time. And then on the Geekday podcast that me and Robert run together, where we also talk about nerdy shit and comics and movies and all that good stuff. Robert?
What Alex said above, the Common Creatures and Geekday podcast is the two podcasts that we got going on right now, as well as my personal stuff. Everything is at ImRobbyTee, ImRobbyTee. That's my at on everything. I'm only really on Instagram and TikTok, but you can follow me on Twitter. I haven't touched that in a few years, but you'll do that.
Links will be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys again next week.
Later.
Thank you, boys.
Later.